All right, so here's the thing. If you're an insurance agent, you already have a personal brand, whether you like it or not. And I'm gonna prove it to you in just a second. But in this video, I'm gonna be explaining why you need to have a personal brand in the future so that you ultimately are not replaced by AI. I know that sounds crazy. I know it sounds a bit like a bold claim, but just give me the next couple minutes, listen intently, listen closely, and I'm going to explain the shift that is happening and how you can position yourself properly to benefit from the shift instead of ultimately being eliminated like so many agents unfortunately will. All right, so the truth is you already have a personal brand, whether you like it or not. And your personal brand is simply what comes up when I Google your name. So if I type your name into Google, what pops up, okay? Does nothing pop up? Does your Instagram from when you were like 25 years old pop up, right? Does some weird Facebook photos of you on a beach drinking a beer pop up? Like whatever pops up, that's what your personal brand is right now. And you would be completely naive to believe that your clients don't Google you right now, right? Of course they Google you. They 100% Google you. When they fill out your form and they become a lead, or when you text them your name, the first thing they do is they go and Google you. So if you're not optimizing and being strategic about what pops up, you're ultimately losing business every single day. So I want to walk you guys through how to build a personal brand. What are the best things that you can do in order to optimize your personal brand, and ultimately how you can future-proof yourself so that you don't get replaced by AI. So let me open up a whiteboard and I'll go into it. All right, so experts predict that in the future, there's essentially two business models that are going to be future-proof, right? Future-proof basically just means you're not going to get replaced or, made obsolete. So if I was an agent right now, my main focus would be AI and building my personal brand, okay? So let me explain what this looks like and how you can ultimately do that, okay? So the idea behind this is what's going to happen in the future is AI is going to replace a lot of like the day-to-day work that agents normally do, right? Which is fantastic for people that use it, but it's bad for people that don't, okay? So for example, if you think about it, why do insurance carriers ultimately have agents as their sales force? Well, the reason they do it is because it eliminates a lot of liability for them, right? If they're not responsible for what you say, they don't have, they can keep their hands clean in terms of the whole sales process. And also, it's much cheaper for them to say, hey, I'm going to give you a set amount of commission. I know I'm comfortable paying this amount. I just need you to go out and sell policies within this range, right? That's essentially the whole idea. These companies have done the math. If I set aside this much to acquire customers, I know I'm going to be profitable. The reason they do that is because it's cheaper. But in the future, if Mutual of Omaha can just have, a chat bot sell a policy, well, they're going to do that. They're not married to using agents. They're married to making money. So what you have to realize is as this technology progresses, insurance companies, and I'm not like 100% certain that this will happen, but I mean, if you look at it, it is a logical next step for them to take. What they're going to do is they're going to start outsourcing a lot of the work within probably the next 5 to 15 years to AI, right? To AI. The other thing that's happening as well, and this is very early right now, I personally have not had any positive experience with these things called voice AI, but there's actually products out there that will call your leads for you and either set appointments or answer questions. So in 5 to 15 years, with the rate that technology is progressing, do you really not believe that this voice AI is going to be good enough to have conversations as good or even better than a human would, right? It 100% will. So the thing is, if you're you got to think about, okay, cool. All this technology is coming. This is all going to happen. What can you do to make yourself irreplaceable by AI? right? Because ultimately, if your only skill sets are, I'm willing to make more dials than everybody else, or I can close better than anybody else, then that's not that strong of a skill set that can't be replaced. Because if insurance company could take a ton of recorded calls of the best closers, send them into AI, and then have the AI replicate it, why wouldn't they just do that and not pay out any commission? If you look at it from the company perspective, that's what they would do as soon as the technology is available to do that. And as long as it is legal, they will do it, right? That's what you have to realize. So I don't want to scare you guys or put you in like a state of, panic around, oh, maybe I'm in the wrong industry. This is going to happen to every single industry. So ultimately, the things that are not replaceable by AI is a personal brand, okay? Is a personal brand. So what I mean by this is like if you are viewed as an expert or viewed as a person that people want to work with and you have a positive reputation, right? AI cannot replace that. AI cannot fully replace human-to-human trust and contact. So if somebody wants to work with me specifically, right? Like let's say I have a personal brand. You're watching my YouTube channel right now. If you want to do business with me, I have a monopoly on doing business with me, right? So what does that mean? Well, if you want to buy something from me, I'm the only person who can sell you a product from me. If you want to do business with Tim, I have a monopoly on that sector of the market. So what you need to realize is if you want to set yourself up where you have a future-proof business and you can benefit from AI instead of being replaced by it, or instead of it, reducing the amount of commissions you make, you need to figure out how you can use AI to streamline your workflow, but also build a personal brand so that clients, they would rather work with you than work with an AI, right? You ever called customer service and you're like, God, this person is so horrible at their job. I would rather talk to a robot than talk to this person, right? I've definitely felt that. You probably have felt that as well. So what you need to be thinking through is, how do I become of so much value and build trust with people en masse so that they would rather work with me than work with a robot? Because eventually, the robots are going to be pretty damn good. So you need to figure out how you can be a person of value that people want to work with. And the best way to do that is by branding yourself. So let me kind of talk through what this looks like, okay? So there's a few ways that you can ultimately go about branding yourself. I'm going to give you guys the long way, and then I'll give you the shortcut way, okay? So the long way is you create content. You can do this on YouTube like I'm doing right now. I've been posting content on this channel for the last 3 years. YouTube. You can create content on Instagram, right? A lot of people will go and they'll like write a book. I've seen this pretty often. People will write a book. Other people use platforms like LinkedIn, and essentially what they do is they start, putting out content and building up a social presence. And then another thing that you should definitely look at doing is your Google reviews. All right. Google reviews. So essentially, what you want to have happen is your personal brand becomes big enough that you're able to get free leads from it, right? Ultimately, that's amazing. That's the goal. I know some people that do, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in production for themselves and their agency, all from just free leads from their organic, right? Which are these things. That's fantastic. That's amazing. If you can do that, you've won the game. But ultimately, all of this stuff takes a very considerable amount of time. Like I told you, I've been posting on YouTube for the last 3 years, and it's not like we have millions of subscribers, right? You can post on Instagram, but it's not like, unless you have a mass volume of this, it's not going to be consistent, okay? So what you ultimately want to do is, the shortcut to building your brand faster is to run ads using your brand, okay? So here's essentially what that means. I'm going to go onto a platform like Facebook, right? We'll grab a Facebook logo. I'm going to run ads on a platform like Facebook and Instagram. Okay. Let me just move this out of the way so I can kind of walk you guys through this, right? So I'll run ads on a platform like Facebook. I will then send, and by the way, the ads, they're going to have your face in it, right? Or your agency's name. So these are branded ads. So whenever someone goes on Facebook, guess what? They're going to see your face. Whenever someone then clicks on the ad, they then go to a page that's going to have videos, or usually just one video, where you are explaining whatever concept you're selling. So for example, let's say you're doing annuities, okay? So you can make a video and basically brand yourself as like the annuity guy, okay? I actually saw this dude just the other day. I'm going to show you guys this. This guy's name is Stan the Annuity Man, okay? I found this guy on YouTube. Stan the Annuity Man. This guy makes content solely about annuities on YouTube. He has 16,000 subscribers, and he's recognized as the top independent annuity agent in the country. This guy is 100% making millions of dollars a year. And all he does is make simple videos about annuities, which, as you can imagine, is immensely valuable for people that are considering an annuity, right? But here's the thing. You can do that, but you don't have to, because there's a quicker way. So what you do is you run ads to like a sales funnel, right? So it'd be basically like I'm going to delete branded, but these ads are branded ads. So it's like a sales funnel with a video. You got like a headline at the top. And then here you have like a form that people can fill out, right? So they go, they fill out, they watch your video. It's usually going to be a training video where you're giving them some value. But then you also have an ask at the end for them to fill out this form and then book an appointment, right? So essentially what happens in this process is they become familiar with you. There's Warren Buffett's business partner was named Charlie Munger. He's passed away now. But he had these things called the cognitive biases. There's 25 cognitive biases. And one of them is the familiarity bias, right? And essentially what that says is that the more you see something, the more you become familiar with it, the more you like it, and the more you trust it. So the more times people see your face, right? So they see you in the ad, and then they see you in the video. Now they go to your calendar, and then they're going to book. And then from there, you just send them a ton more videos, right? You just send all these little triangles are videos, by the way. I'm sending them a bunch of videos so that they're just seeing my face and being exposed to my brand as fast as possible. So I know I'm getting in the weeds here with marketing, but what this does is like instead of you, because most agents will go out and they'll buy leads, right? In the future, I think that's going to become extremely difficult to make money with. For now, you can still get by with it. In the future, it'll be very tough. But most agents, they go out and buy leads. With this, every dollar that I put into this machine, right? Every dollar that I spend running an ad is getting people to see my face more often, which is exactly what this is. The only difference with doing this all organic is it takes so much time. But if you just reposition the money that you're putting into leads and you put it into a system like this, every dollar you spend on marketing builds your brand faster. And that's exactly what I did, right? This YouTube channel, a lot of it was built from us running Facebook ads and then sending YouTube videos to people that came and watched videos. So I basically built this brand on one side, but then I'm also able to run ads for my business. And so that, ladies and gentlemen, is by far the fastest, best way to build a personal brand. And what happens is when you make these sales, right, you put $1 into the system and dollars come out. But then also over time, your personal brand just gets bigger and bigger. I'm just going to delete this stuff. Your personal brand continues to get bigger as you're fueling it with just your lead spend. So your personal brand gets bigger, right? Your Facebook grows, your Instagram grows, your YouTube grows, your LinkedIn grows, and then all of a sudden, because you're helping so many people, you have like, 1,000 5-star reviews. And then if somebody searches, like if someone Googles best annuity agent in my area, you're going to pop up. And that's the goal, right? There we go. I know this guy, and he pops up. 5 stars, 153,000, or not, 153 reviews. And then if I go to his website, guess what? Boom. Granted, I need to talk to him because he needs to have a calendar right here, but he's built his brand, right? He's built his brand. He even wrote books. But you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this at first. So ladies and gentlemen, ultimately, what is coming to our industry? If you are not a trusted advisor, if you're not a person that is like, if people wouldn't rather talk to you than a robot, they're just going to talk to a robot. So if I was you, I would be putting all of my focus into how can I be building my brand, building my expertise, and figuring out a way that I can give value to people before they even become a client. That way I am not replaceable by AI, because it's coming. It's not there yet. Give it 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. The voice AI will be better than a human. All right. So now that we talked about how to do this, what I just described to you is a process called the personal brand funnel. So if you want to see how it works in depth, click this video right here. It's a full in-depth breakdown of how this funnel works and how you can apply it into your business. See you.